what inspires you to create? I would imagine you have a pretty good system down by now, but you share a little bit about that? It's not really alts related, but I've always been curious how you do it so well.
Yeah, so I think it comes down to I literally trademarked, I've trademarked two things. My firm name, Measure Twice, which I was surprised has never been trademarked even by, construction companies. But the second was, we've heard Measure Twice, Cut Once. But in that as well, I'm helping people like measure twice before making that really important decision, retiring, for example. But also my other trademark is keep finance personal. And what I'm finding is, because every plan is different, I know that, there's a lot of heuristics that can be helpful in our industry, but I also think, one size fits all hardly fits anyone. You're at a football game and they throw out the free shirt and it's like, the extra large, right? Like, yes, it fits you, meaning it goes over your shoulders, but that's about it. So I've decided to build out, because I believe that, as I mentioned before, that we're fitting your money into your life, not your life into your money, that first I have to have a comprehensive understanding of two islands, which is your comprehensive financial ecosystem and the other island of your family, you and your family's unique values and desired outcomes. Yes. My job is to help build a bridge. Effectively, they're the ones building the bridge, but I'm helping guide them to build that bridge, which is creating a financial plan and, of course, implementing that plan. That's very important. With that said, I understand that, again, when you plug in unique values, desired outcomes, those are things that are not easily editable or reframable within the software that most financial planners use. So most financial planning software is really focused on kind of cash flow projections, understanding kind of visually. It actually is very helpful to visualize variable income and expenses over time. Also, the impact of maybe future required minimum distributions, RMDs, and also some future inheritance opportunities. With that said, the unique values and desired outcomes, which, by the way, may point to alts, makes the case for creating, effectively, depending on who and how you serve, creating your own customizable financial planning process, which includes developing your own templates. So every financial planning deliverable for a client, I actually don't use any deliverables or reports from the financial planning software. I might show them on screen, but everything that the client sees in terms of deliverables, in terms of the PDF or maybe even a physical copy if they like the physical copy, is they get a one-page summary of every financial area. And that's typically 25 to 30 areas per family. So to wrap this up in this part is, Craig, so let's say somebody does come in with that rental, maybe, whether it's accidental or intentional rental real estate, I can have a one-page summary showing them, the realization of those, putting all the numbers from all those different forms onto one page so they actually understand it. Also showing them visually with my own templates and calculators, built in Excel. I can show them, hey, here's your debt repayment summary on the mortgage from your rental property. And they may not understand also things like, hey, they might think about the interest that they pay over the life of the loan, but they might not be looking at the next 12 months of interest in terms of possibly itemizing their deductions. Of course, This is more in the primary residence space.
Yeah.
Yeah, but ultimately, I build out one-page visual summaries, including some bullet points, so they remember what we talked about after the call. But it's really nice to be able to have that customization so that every plan I design and present to a client only makes sense for that client. Every client's financial plan only makes sense for that specific family. And I think that's another thing that really helps in this model is when you're working with families who have, unique circumstances, like you said, like farmland, or they love, not credit cards, but, baseball cards. And also one example quickly is that I work with a client who, when he retired, he's always loved the VW, the Volkswagen Bugs back from the 60s.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
In the bus, in the buses and the vans.
Oh, so sure. I can put it right in my head.
Yeah, so talk about this as an alt. Like, this is something that doesn't really fit into financial planning software. Is he said in retirement, I want to buy my first Volkswagen bus. I want to effectively flip these. I want to buy them, flip them. He said it's probably going to be more of a hobby, but it was really important to understand, hey, like how might the purchase of those vehicles, in the specific tax year, and also the expenses you put into it and the refurbishing and then selling, how might that be affected by the other variables in your financial plan, including your distribution strategy and tax optimized charitable giving, right? So it's really important to me that every variable that they bring in, not only am I not conflicted to, cash it out and put it into a model portfolio that I manage, but also I can provide really clear educational summaries on every aspect of their financial life so they can make a well-informed decision whether or not, I'm helping them implement that part of the plan.